It's open now. Now I cross it to make it like a mat, just like this, to give it structure, to make something like this.
Here's the second one. Welcome to the wild. So today we're gonna make 3 things and maybe 4 things, but let's say 3 for now. Firstly, I'm gonna get some material to make a covo. Covo, it's a trap that you can catch crab, fish, and maybe shrimps as well. Secondly, we're gonna get some material to make arapuca. I think arapuca is a very South American, if not Brazilian, kind of trap. It's a box made out of saplings to catch birds, and I'll show you how to get material and all that. Also, we're gonna make some lasso. It's basically like snare, and I'll show you how to set them up. And if I have a little bit of luck while I'm doing all that, if I see the perfect piece of wood with the perfect fork, it's gonna be perfect to make my slingshot. Good morning, good morning. What about some berries for breakfast, huh? This little berry here is jurubeba. Jurubeba is good for cold. It has vitamin C and other elements to reduce inflammation. This is called Sipocaboco. It's a very strong vine and will serve as a structure for covo, the crab trap, fish trap. So this one will make the arch, the circles, and will give it a structure. And the piaçaba will make the walls. On the back of the leaf is a very hard material, so you cut as high as you can go, and then you come prying it open, and it will conceal for the plant. I strip away and let the plant use the leaf. I got the strip that I need, and from here I just clean it up, the excess material, make it nice and usable. And that's the material that I will use. When you harvest, you have to let it dry, but for short term it works.
After harvesting the strips from the palm tree, I'll let it dry out for a few days.
Okay, so I'm going to work on the covos for I don't know how many times because I made a video and then the memory card broke, just everything disappeared and it doesn't work. So here we go. So I have a lot of material, almost like kind of ongoing, so I'm going to review all the stages of this trap. This trap is very interesting. It looks simple, but there is a trick to it that really gets the fish and the trapped animal inside without not being able to leave that easy. It's just used two material, vines and a thin light piece of wood or something like that. So in this environment I have tala. You take it out of the back of the leaf, this strip, and it's pretty strong and light. Vine is this vine, it's called timorana. It's a plant that grows along a big tree and shoots a root from the top, from higher up to the ground to get the nutrients, and then you can take and then grows a lot of those roots down. It's like hundreds of them, and you can take them. Cool. So those are the two materials. And first step, besides harvesting, is to make like a mat. You're gonna make a mat. That's what I'm gonna do now. First step, making a mat. It's done. I made the video already and I completed, but I will show the steps on making the mat. There's a piece of wood, and it can be any piece of wood, right? It can be any piece of wood that's light, and if you know that's strong and all that, it's even better. Cut it. I'm gonna make the end goal is to make something like this. Okay, now I'll show the inside. That's very interesting. So I'm gonna measure. You can see that I made this a while ago, and you can see that I use like plastic because plastic never rots and stay tight. So at the end, I just gave that layer of support. It can be ropes or anything. So. And then you measure every single one precisely to the same size. Normally, two pieces are gonna be the same size. So I would cut like 40 to make something like this. So use like 40 of those. So to make a mat, you're gonna get the timborana. Timborana has to be pre soaked to be nice and flexible, easy to work on. The end goal of this step is to make a mat. And this mat, I use a table. You can use this idea of making a mat for many different things. So you start in the middle, and for this I will use my toes. It's necessary. So you make the ends not finish equally, because when you tie a new end, the knot is the weakest point. So you don't want two weakest points close together. So you want them apart. So they already are. They are apart. So I get another one, do the same thing, and put it to the end, leaving a little bit extra here. So once I stepped in, nice and tight. So I will, it's open here now. So I have the top strain of the timborana. It's open now. Now I cross it, passing the top one to the right. So I have a ongoing pattern. You get the bottom one and hold it to maintain the pressure. So do the same thing for the other end. Cross it, bring the bottom piece of vine to the back. Now I have two here in the ground, in which I will put another one, and with that I get the next one to always moving over to the right. And this mat system, you can make many things, walls, I don't know, you can be very creative with it. You know, something like that. Then you have this situation right here. Okay? The next step, so I made the mat already. Here's the mat. Okay? The next step will be closing the mat, tie it together right here. After you tie it properly, now you're gonna have like a tube, right? You're gonna have a tube. After you get this tube, I already have the next step. I put another vine here. I made, I think, with a video showing harvesting the vines and all that, to give it the structure it needs. This is very important. You put this vine inside, and you close it, so it has to be flexible. You close it, and then the pressure going backwards will give it structure. All right, and then you make this. After that, you're gonna make this middle part. This middle part is the most important part. Really, is the key for this whole thing. Okay, and this is called catingueira. It's like a way that the animal gets inside but cannot leave. You can make like a funnel shape thing, and I'm gonna make for the main entrance. For here on top, I'll make it, and I'll show how it's done. And like straight, square. It's a little bent now, but you know, it's like this. Then what you do is that you bring it together just like this, and it fits in nicely. And then you have this, and then you complete making a little bit here to make it like round, and you cut it and all that small little details. And the animals can get inside this way, and the view that the fish will have is this. And then he comes through here trying to get out and get all like entertained trying to get out this way, and he goes through here, and then but never has the ability to come through here to be able to get out. And here there's a wall, right? And I'll show you the trap that is completed with all this. This takes a couple of days if you just do it. You see this here? It's a funnel. Okay. This is very easy to make. You just make a point on one end, and you just make again the mat again. It's all mats. This trap, it's just mats. Right here, just like I showed you, it's a mat that is entangled this way to be able to stop the animal from being able to leave. And the animal gets here, it's a little challenging for them to get out. But then they're like, oh, it's a little bit of a challenge. Well, I'm going to go more deeper down. Maybe it's the exit. And that's when they all ended up right in this section. I made a video catching the crabs and getting those out of the water. And you will see that most of the crabs will be on this end.
All right, it's time to set some traps now. I have the covers right there and more material to make more covers. I have my boat, my family's boat, and I'm gonna set up the traps now in the mangrove. I have to do it now because the tide is going into the mangrove, and when the tide goes into the mangrove, that's the time to set the trap to get crabs and fish and stuff like that. Okay, so time to set up the traps. So I'm here now in the mangrove. It's a little river that comes from the main bay, the main river. And now what I'm looking for is a little creek that will come from the mangrove to the river. This creek that comes like fresh water, and that's where a lot of animals will come in as the tide goes up. Those shrimp and crabs will come to those little creeks to start eating whatever the bay is bringing in, the tide is bringing in, animals or algae or stuff like that. So that's what I'm looking for to set up the covers to get shrimp and crabs. Here. And I'll come back to pick it up. Let's pick it up later. Let's see.
I put the cover inside of the water, deep down, and I have this two pieces of wood that are tied together, and I put this on the ground to hold it in place to make sure that it doesn't go anywhere. So I'll put it here. Okay, sounds good. I'm gonna come back here another time.
Here we go. Let's go get some crab. We're gonna get the traps and see if there's some fish and crabs. Okay. So here's what it is. You follow those little creeks out of the mangrove. The mud here sometimes goes not just knee deep, but also waist deep. So you really need to be careful. Here's one trap. Here we go. And you can see plenty of crabs. But it took a little while because I had to catch some crabs. Catch some different kind of crabs, and leave this one here. There's plenty. But here's the second one. This creek goes up and up, so the water comes all the way up to my head here. So this is all full of water. There we go. We got ourselves a handful of them. You can see their claws. There's another one here, maybe? Yeah. Cool. Time to get back to the boat. Gonna make that. Here's siri do mangue. It's a blue crab, and I got probably like almost a dozen here. This covo, it's a very good one. It took a long while to make. This is a pretty big one, but this one it catches a good amount of crabs. I'll show the crabs later on when I have and everything it's on the dry land, because now I have to put more baits inside of this, and then I'll set up again for tomorrow.
The catch of the day. The interesting thing about this trap is that you can catch crab, but also you can catch fish. I'm gonna show you a very interesting way to tie a crab without using any string or rope. First, you grab the crab, cross the claws, and then you get one over their nails and you puncture between the moving claw and the main body of the claw. Puncture that location with their nail, push it inside. You need to do that with the nail from the finger is on the opposite side of the claw. You do the same for the other side, and then when you release it, it doesn't even know how to move correctly. And here's another close look to this process. As you can see, this trap is very effective. I got crab and I got fish. All right, this is the catch of the day.
Okay, it's lunchtime. Here we are. Some different kind of crabs and mangaba fruit, coconut, and a fish I caught. This is my mat. I'm gonna work on this to make a carvel.
I brought some of this to share with my family. This is the house where I grew up. I have some more boiling to boil them up, and I'll bring them to my family in town. This is basically where I grew up, right there. It was the size of the house. It was very small. Now I live very far away in the northeast of the US. But you know, once we learn stuff, we just keep doing the same. Every time I come here, I sort of come and fish. So yeah, I'm back. I'm gonna take a shower and eat some food. Bye.
This is the Arapuca, like a pyramid.